What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pete's Basement Extras. We got a spoiler-ridden review of Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 1. So if you haven't seen it by now, what are you even doing? So, first time on the program, Lee Quinn, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Lee is the genius behind my House Stark glass and the other three glasses that you see in front of you, Deadpool, The Killing Joke, and Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
You've seen us drinking out of these glasses many times on the show. So if you want one of your own, and why wouldn't you, go check out our Instagram. That's LEEZ_art,
Yep,
correct?
that's
All right. So go hit her up, go tell her you saw her on Pete's Basement, and go order yourself like 6 glasses.
Yes.
Because between me and I think my mother, we've gotten about 10 to 15 or so by now.
Mets. There was the Mets.
The Mets
collection,
ones, yeah. She
right?
loves. We've got a lot of Met fan friends.
I don't know. Not your mom.
I have a lot of Met fan friends.
No, your mom's not a Met fan, right?
No. My mother was raised right. Everybody pretty much knew where everybody at this table was going to be last Sunday, 9 o'clock, glued to your HBO, hoping against hope that for whatever reason the cable didn't go out, because you know it was imminently possible.
Like the servers were going to go down.
Yeah.
Something horrible was going to happen.
Out of Sopranos finale.
Random
Oh my
lightning
God.
strike that hits a transformer. All of Greenpoint goes black. It was ridiculous.
I was in the fucking Finger Lakes, and like we had to wait to stream it at freaking 9:30 because they didn't have HBO. We had to like freaking jack it on HBO Go. So like we had to like throw
You
our
got
phones away.
you got to leave the phones, all of the internet behind, because people are like, there's this live tweeting thing that people like to do, which I can't stand. Like, I want to watch the show, and I'll let you know what I thought afterward. I'm not
Absolutely.
gonna sit there with my phone, my nose buried in my phone, trying to look up, seeing all of these awesome, and it started out right off the bat.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, Red and I, we had like a premiere party, and
Good food.
Thank you. We legit told our guests, like, okay, you guys are coming to watch, right? And our guests had the same question. They were like, yeah, you know, like, no offense, we know you got kids, but are they gonna shut the fuck up? You know? I shit you not, like, we totally were like, no, yes, this is like strictly Game of Thrones, we're watching it, we're totally invested, and we and they're comedians too, so it's pretty funny. But so we watch it first, and then we kind of watch it again, and then critique and so on. But no, yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I couldn't go to a bar and watch it.
No.
I need to invest and
Too many people talk. Did you see that little Game of Thrones pop-up bar that's somewhere?
I did.
I really want to go there, but
not to watch a show.
yeah, you can't trust people not talking during the shit.
Yeah, because like sometimes I think something's really serious, and then some asswad in the back is like, oh, and I'm like, no, that wasn't funny. That was like a sincere moment, and so that ruins it for me. And it's kind of like that fourth wall. Speaking of which, like Ed Sheeran, I kind of liked it. I thought it would have been fine just his voice without his face, I guess. Because honestly, it was like watching Deadpool, and like he looked at the screen and it was like, oh, this is real life. I'm not in Westeros anymore. This guy's like from Islands or something, you know. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, speaking of talking during the thing, I got my folks into this, and my old man really he had to watch the shit with subtitles for a little while because he couldn't understand anybody's name, couldn't really understand what they were saying. And he would make it very vocal to me, like, I can't fucking understand all of these British assholes. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is this?
You gotta meet the parents.
So, you know, we're trying to... the show starts off, and he's like, but I thought he was dead. And I'm like, no, that's Arya. There was no doubt in my mind, there was no question. Obviously, I knew who I absolutely knew she's in disguise.
And then I was like, wait, he's a bastard. Is this motherfucker really alive?
I honestly thought, okay, Bran is watching the Red Wedding through the tree.
That was
that's what I thought at first. I was like, because when he says, I'm sure you're all wondering why I gathered you here, and I'm like, oh, he has to be watching the Red Wedding.
Maybe
oh my
he was
God,
plotting it out. Okay, that's an interesting idea.
So I was like, oh man, Bran is totally watching this, and this sucks. But then when I saw that none of the Stark men were there, and then I was like, what? And then, I was lost up until, especially, she totally sold it when she was like, I'm not going to waste good wine on a damn woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, you fuck. You know, and I just like...
As soon as I saw everybody there, I'm like, she's going to kill everybody in this room.
Like, I had my suspicion that was already when it started, but like, that was the clincher for me when he stopped the young girl from breaking
his other wife,
and then that devilish grin, like, that really is Arya. Like, I didn't want to say it out loud and like fuck everyone's heads up and like be wrong.
I am the worst with figuring shit like this out. I did not know what's his name was dead at the end of the movie. Bruce Willis. I did not know that Kevin Spacey was Kaiser Soze. I'm not good.
How did you not know he was Kaiser Soze?
Had no idea. That shit was actually a genuine surprise. I did not know that Mr. Glass brought down the planes and all that kind of shit.
So
had no idea.
You know Nicole Kidman was actually a ghost in fucking The Hours?
The others. That shit. I was just talking about that shit today. That was awesome. No, I had no idea that they were the ghosts. Sorry if you never saw the others.
It's been like 16 years. I think that's...
But I had this shit pegged. As soon as it starts, I'm like, that's Arya. She's going to kill everybody here. This is going to be good. I'm off to a great start.
Did you see the meme going around, Jon Snow avenged the Red Wedding, and it says, bitch, please, on Arya's face?
Seriously.
I mean, she took out a whole house.
There was a lot of great ones.
I like the one where it was like episode 1, Cersei, like the kill count, like 0. Everyone had 0, and then Arya, 50 plus. That was a joke. That was good.
Like they actually have like, I love the fact that now there's actually this like fantasy Game of Thrones, like fantasy football for Game of Thrones now, basically.
Really?
Oh my god, yeah.
But like it's like it's a big deal. Like whoever someone was a star fucking on Sunday Night with fucking Arya. Like they probably like ranked up like big time.
yeah, 50 plus.
Literally like 50 plus. Like I noticed it last year when a friend of mine, Dylan, shout out to you, Dylan. He works for some guy to do an algorithm to start stuff. And I'm like, all right, maybe this is them. Then I'm like, so you know what? I'm gonna Google it and see if it goes around. There's like fucking Game of Thrones fancy websites all around the world.
I had no idea.
And like it's like real, dude. Like
I think of all fucking places, Tennessee has the Game of Thrones con.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
There's a whole convention now?
Yeah, but it's like in Tennessee. And I'm like, why?
They
And
have great barbecue though.
I guess,
I like country
but
music.
like, I get it, but like, you know, I just feel like something like that should be where there's more of a population.
New York or California, I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Detroit. Yeah, that's cool.
Well, why doesn't it travel around like all the
Close to
supernatural conventions? You know, these other
I
specialty
agree.
conventions.
I agree. I mean,
Pisses me off that PowerCon is only out in California. That's the He-Man one. Just saying. So I thought that the episode kind of trailed off after that. Like the rest of it was just kind of exposition and talking.
honestly, I felt like the rest of it was a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah. Just setting up the rest of
Super good
it.
for that.
It's like
Yeah.
But they don't have the time to waste now. We get enough talking. Let's
That is so
this is your only talking episode that you get. The rest of it, people gotta die.
Well, like
People gotta start dying.
Is winter finally here?
Winter's
Yeah,
that
what is it?
That was actually. I'm glad you asked that question. That was the tagline on the first day of summer when the trailer dropped, and it was "Winter is here" on the first day of summer. Whoever was heading up the advertising department on that hashtag, give them a raise.
HBO.
That was genius.
I agree.
Yeah, now you've got the other jerk, the uncle from the Iron Islands, who's trying to kick it to Cersei, right in front of her lover brother.
Oh my god,
Now-
two
he
good
knows.
hands.
My nomination for these
That was
guys.
right. How did he not just cut his throat? Is he like a professional with his left hand with his sword
Jamie
yet?
not only lost his hand, he's starting to lose his spine a little bit. He needs to come back.
He'll come back. I have a theory for you about what's going to happen with this episode.
Red actually had this. I don't know. Are we there yet? Can we?
Let's go there.
All right, let's just go.
Okay. No,
Jesus out.
So there's a scene right after Jon and Sansa are talking at Winterfell.
She's annoying.
I hate her.
She's cute. She's annoying.
Yes, I agree. So there's Red pointed out that on the map, Cersei is standing on the part of Westeros where it says the neck, and Jaime is standing by the fingers. So it kind of foreshadows, like the fact that we kind of know that
he's going to kill her.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're freaking Ed Sheeran sing that damn song. If you listen to
Yes.
that's like he's basically telling you Cersei's gonna get killed by Jaime.
Here's our theory that I was discussing with a couple people from work. Basically, she is all that is standing in the way of a united kingdom, because I don't think Jon really gives that much of a fuck about ruling the whole country.
Absolutely.
Daenerys does, and she's probably got the most right to it. Especially since if they're both Targaryens, she's older.
She is older, but he is the
But,
man.
but direct descendant from the king. She was like
She was the king.
She was like from the
She was
oldest
like
son
a
from the
sister.
oldest
No,
son.
but she was the actual child of the king.
Oh, you're right. You're right. She was the daughter.
Jon was a bastard basically.
But you know what?
And then
This is
But
the
he
way
is
it
the oldest
works.
son to
They were-
oldest
they were-
son.
But
But
at
the way
every
it
point,
works with
but-
blood, you know, with the Targaryens was, okay, so you had the Mad King, and he had
Three sons, Rhaegar,
Yeah,
the middle one.
Viserys, and Dany.
Mhm.
And then Rhaegar had his children, and one of which is Jon Snow. So I think if we're doing it by blood and, you know, male dominance,
It
Jon
should
would
be Jon,
have
yeah.
more of a
Claim.
right, you know, a claim. But then it comes back to what you were saying, where Jon doesn't want that. You know,
Right.
we don't get that from him at all.
He just wants like
I could see
old school
him.
justice, basically.
Who wants a
Yeah,
queen?
exactly.
Sansa. It seems like she's bitter about not ruling.
I absolutely feel like Sansa is starting to be the next Cersei. Because there's a part where...
When he said, you sound like you admire her, and she's like, she taught me a lot.
Yeah, she didn't say, oh no, fuck that bitch. You mean the
Right.
woman who... You know what I mean?
She
Like,
was whiny for the whole damn series
God, yeah.
until maybe the
last season.
last season. Yeah.
Last season.
And
She
you
was
know,
She dyed her hair, and I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm
now
looking
it's
forward to
bad.
the 9.
I mean,
Sansa?
Yes.
You think she will?
I hope so.
Between this episode, what Sansa taught me two things about. Number one, she's playing Littlefinger like a fucking troll.
It's about damn time
But
somebody
it's-
returns that
No,
favor.
no. She is, but
Is she really?
But no.
Littlefinger's a man.
no. But see, Littlefinger has a plan. He has a plan. He has a plan because like the way that whole conference went with all the houses and so on and so forth, he's paying attention to everyone that questioned. He actually like said something when like Sansa said something when Jon was talking. He looked at every single person and said, you know what?
I got you.
Yeah, so he's plotting right now, and like
But she seems like she's had totally enough of his shit. When he tries to go talk to her on the balcony over there, and she's like, "What do you want
I
now?"
think there is when John kind of makes Sansa feel the same way that the Lannister men made Cersei feel, where because she's a woman, they use her as a pawn in certain movements. Where even when where he's like, oh, what do you expect me to do? Like listen to you, and she's like, would it be so bad? You know, and it's funny because I just feel like they're both, Cersei and Sansa are both compensating for something. Like they feel like they need to prove themselves, and the world
Cersei
would be
has
so
daddy
much better
issues.
if they didn't.
Well, clearly,
Yeah.
Cersei's got a lot of issues. They only started dead.
Cersei is a fucking psychopath.
Yes, she is.
She is.
But there's a scene like so after Sansa's talking to Jon, so Sansa says to Jon about her brother Robb and then Ned, her dad, and she says, I loved them and I missed them, but they both made mistakes and they got their heads cut off for it. And then Cersei says, I loved them, but they're ashes now,
Right.
and we have to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And it's so similar.
That's
You can
interesting.
see
I
those
didn't actually
similarities.
catch the parallels.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's one of those things where I feel like the show is kind of like foreshadowing who would be the next. Basically, Cersei is gonna get killed off. You know what I mean? But
I think Jamie's gonna realize that
I'm
everyone
surprised
has
she's still
to.
alive.
Who? Cersei?
Yeah.
I'm not.
No.
She's a manipulative psycho. You
Like-
gotta. Yeah.
From the Shame episode, she's gonna be on some extra shit, and like now she's.
Well, she died this season.
Yeah, I think so. That's going to be the end of this season.
I say no.
you think so?
I say no.
Here's my theory on this one: is that Jamie is going to come to his senses and, like you said, grow a friggin' spine back.
Yeah.
Because he's been kind of bitchy since he lost his hand. But he's going to realize that there's a greater enemy here than just squabbling amongst ourselves over who's in charge. Because the Night King is still making his way down south. Not a lot of people realize this. Not a lot of people even believe that it's going to happen. So once it does, that's when he's going to realize, like, all right, we all have to team up, and she's going to be like, no, fuck that. And he's going to be, oh, I did. And he's going to be the King Slayer, Queen Slayer, just bring it full circle. I think he's going to wind up stabbing her in the back, but interesting that you think he's going to choke her.
So I've read the books, and I don't want to be that person, but I kind of do.
Okay.
No, my wife.
Mission granted.
That's why I can't watch it. My wife hates. She read the books, and
But the show is ahead of the books now, so it's
It
okay.
is, kind of.
I know.
It is.
But trying to get past season 2, where it started to really.
Diverge,
Yeah. Oh no,
Like I said,
that didn't
wine.
happen. That's
Wine.
not the way that
Wine.
happened.
Should I read the books?
Get her wine.
So it's
Give her wine.
good, but I gotta be honest. I love George R.R. Martin for the world he's created for us all. But dude, fucking stop. Okay, like there are so many more families and houses in the book.
I've seen the
That
videos
honestly,
about that. Yeah.
yes, that honestly, I'm like, I had to put the book down and walk away. Like, I don't give a fuck about who this person is. But in the books, there's a huge theory going on out there that drives me nuts. That says that Tyrion is a Targaryen. In the
Yeah,
books,
for a while now.
I fucking hate that theory. I do. I have been repping House Lannister for the longest, and it's been for Tywin, I will say, and for Tyrion.
He was badass.
He was.
Oh,
he was.
So awesome.
So, in the books, Tywin marries Joanna, and she's raped that night by the Mad King.
Yeah.
And then she has the twins, Jaime and Cersei. And of course, Tywin's gonna feel some type of way. And then when you look at it, these twins have the same mannerisms that the Targaryens had, where they are into the incest.
Yeah.
She's constantly telling people she's going to burn their houses to the ground, and she's got that.
Burn down the church.
Exactly. She's got the same.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's, the sept and all that.
It's in the DNA.
Yeah, I feel like they are way more Targaryen and likely to be Targaryen than Tyrion. And I think Tyrion is the only Lannister in this entire show. And it shows, too, in his sincerity when he kills his father, who's the only other Lannister other than him. And the last thing he says to his father is, I am your son. I have always been your son. And it's kind of like, I want to say it's like
justice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's not his fault that the gods cursed you with two twins that are not yours. And then when they finally gave you a son, he's a dwarf. So I think that's why it was always so hard for Tywin. And the show hasn't really,
Delved
looked
into
at
it
that
at all.
yet. At all.
I'd never heard that concept that they weren't his kids.
The fact that,
because she was raped.
The dragons didn't go after Tyrion is also
that's helping that theory
That's
too.
the theory, yeah.
I understand
which
that.
is weird.
But
That's a little morsel right there. Just
it is. I totally get that, which honestly terrifies me because I really don't want the show to do that. I really don't. I want Tyrion to be the good Lannister. You know what I mean? Because I'm rooting for them. Not just because, they're a great house, but, Tyrion is just so fucking awesome. And he can do it. He is.
Except
He's
for the whole incest thing,
Yeah, I mean, but, it comes down to, what the sand...
He killed the king.
Oh, but
He deserved it,
He
though.
killed the crazy king, though, so it's kind of like, okay.
But if
you get a free card.
it turns out that Jaime is a Targaryen, at the end of the day, he killed his father. And Tyrion did the same thing.
Right.
And then if Tyrion killed a woman he loves by choking her out, in the books, the chains she had on were gold hands. And it was a gold hand necklace. And then if Jaime has a gold hand and ends up killing his sister, who's the woman he loves, there are so many similarities there. So I feel like they have a lot more in common than they've been leading so far.
You get the feeling she's thought way more about this.
No. There's watching Game of Thrones, and there's what she does.
Yeah.
I don't know what she does. If Jaime is
Targaryen.
he's the next in line for the throne, right?
That's another. That.
That's really
By blood design, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But will they ever dwell into that in the show? You know what I mean? Because they haven't yet. They haven't. That could be a total, hey! We threw that in there! And, So,
that's why we have this kid, Cripple Stark.
Bran.
Yeah, Bran.
The Cripple Stark.
He's so fucking sad.
First of his name. Oh, man.
He needs to stop being useful again.
He does.
He spent the whole season getting to the wall. Now you're finally in. No rest for the weary. Get a fucking move on and get to your brother so you can tell him all about who he is.
Yes! I'm so looking forward to that.
You know what I'm a little upset about, though? Now, the Hound was looking at the fire, and he was having the vision of the Night King and all the zombies going through the gate to the east, I think it was.
That's going to be the finale. I think that's going to be the finale.
I think that's going to be like
Definitely the next
episode
hard
3.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's
But I'm
gonna be-
upset that the dude with the red hair, Volstagg, whatever his name is.
The Wild Wolf?
Did you
Yeah.
just go Thor?
You know that's where they're stationing him. I don't want him to die.
I don't
Least of
either.
all before he hooks up with, what's her name?
Oh,
Yes.
Honestly,
Brienne, yeah.
I think she dies in this season.
Oh, she probably will.
I think she will. And I think it'll be because of Sansa.
No, it makes sense.
In which case, we'll hate her even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But like when she was teaching what's his name Squire how to fight, and she punches the shit out of him, and he just looked at her like, you're a lucky man.
Yes, I totally.
That's some
that.
shit I would say.
What about when Euron came for Cersei's hand?
Oh, gee, douche.
Douchebag of the year.
What?
Douchebag of the year.
Well, we knew he was a
Yeah.
douche last year. But he was
I
like,
have an army
let's
and
go
I
find
have
my
two
niece
good
and nephew and
hands.
kill him.
Yeah.
Come on,
So
he had an army and had 2 good hands. That's a savage fucking...
he says I have a.
How did he not fuck up? That was fighting words in
Why
my
didn't
parrot.
you do that? Why didn't you
Fucked
die?
up right there.
Parrot.
And then he kept on throwing jabs at freaking Jamie. You just stood there like, oh, well, I can't do anything.
His nostrils just kept getting bigger and bigger.
That's when you throw your sword down and like, the fuck you got to say? What? Step up, be a man, get knocked out. I got a metal hand, bro. You know what that's gonna do to your temple?
Alright.
Yeah,
What?
seriously.
He mentioned a gift he wants to bring for
Cersei.
Oh, Tyrion.
We know who that is.
Tyrion's head.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
is he going to be able to get to Tyrion?
No way.
Is that the next big battle?
Tyrion lives the whole time.
Stop! Don't knock on the wood right now, please. Okay, guys, don't do that. You know how this game works.
I do. We like him. They know we like him.
I do see that battle coming,
Yes.
but I don't even think he sniffs near Tyrion.
Not at all.
I mean, but there is,
I think
like I said.
I think the Unsullied gets him first.
No, if it's on
Probably.
boats, it'll be Greyjoy versus Greyjoy.
That's true.
True. That is true. I think.
And dragons.
Oh.
If the dragons are around. If she leaves the Greyjoys to deal with the other Greyjoys and she heads north with the dragons, then that battle's going to be something else.
Or she gets. I mean, I think.
Unless she lets them take one.
Yeah, I'm about to say like.
Like really, like, hey, could we get one of them? Just in
Yeah,
case.
this is a backup.
Y'all got
I'm
two
with it.
there.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Like, I mean, you're left with two if you do that. But Tyrion does call himself the gift when last season when Jorah is in the fighting pits, and then like that guy frees him from the chains, and he goes out and he's like, "Oh, it's me. I am the gift." And he says that, yeah, he does to Daenerys, and Daenerys, yes, I know. And so Daenerys,
Oh wait, that's right. Yes. Okay.
remember when
Yes.
it's like, "It is me. I am the gift," and she's like, and that's when they start to meet and they start talking. But he called himself the gift, the same way that Jon Snow was like, "We need to find dragon glass. We need like a mountain of it," and then Sam finds a mountain of it. You know, so it's little.
That was one of the
like
grossest montages I've ever seen.
Oh, his life sucks.
Just
He has such a cute wife and he's stuck with shit all day.
literally.
And or the
Literally.
disease. You see Mormont in there?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just real.
Sucks for him, man.
Yeah, but you know what? He's in the right place.
No, somebody paused it because they're fanatics. When Sam's looking at the book, and probably her. And there's a part where it says that dragon glass
Can cure it.
can cure stuff.
Yeah, it
and
does.
What's his name's daughter?
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
So,
Here's the picture, guys.
Baratheon's daughter, she's like half.
Yeah.
dragon skin,
And
skin or
she was
whatever.
on Dragon's
Yeah.
Yeah, until the Red Queen broke.
But he looked like he's much further along.
Yeah, he has not gotten treated in a while.
So I mean, just stay in the room.
I have a theory question to ask you because you're far more advanced.
Clearly.
Game of Thrones guru.
Knows a bit.
So
Just a tad.
there's a theory I've had that actually got picked up by someone else, and now they're making a big deal of it. About Varys.
Varys.
Is he a merman? Only reason why I say this is because like he gets to places so fucking fast.
Oh, that joke.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Let's go teleportation.
I tried my best to like really legit
He's Atlantean.
think
Clearly.
about it. Yeah. I'm like,
Kate heard that too.
I'm just saying, like, it was like, how's he getting everywhere all the
I
time?
mean, the magic didn't really come back to Westeros until the dragons were born, right?
The
Because
red
even the
common shit,
wizards at Karth said the same thing. They were like, now that the dragons are born, so is our magic. And so
I think they were just talking about, like,
like
they were trying to show that more time has passed than just the blink of a scene.
Was it the dragons born or was it White King showing up? Which happened first? Because there were rumors of him up in the far north, the true north. Before
Which came first, the dragons or the king?
Yeah.
I think it was the king. Because we see that in the first episode, the White Walkers, running around and just remember.
There were supposed to be spiders in that scene, if I'm not mistaken.
In the books, yeah. And you know what's crazy is that the Hard Home episode where like the wildlings are coming up, they only had like 2 mammoths. In the books, there was like, it's like the equivalent of what they have in horses, they had in mammoths.
Right.
So, I mean, I still loved it. It was an amazing episode.
They are spending a lot of money.
Yeah, no, so I can't.
I'm sure that we need more giants too, and I would like to see an occasional giant spider.
Well,
I admit.
Well, I kind of
It's
was like
funny
6 in the
that
first. In that scene, I kind of like 6.
Yeah, where the walkers were coming in.
I kinda
But
see-
in the books, the 2 that were at Hard Home were pretty much the only ones fighting because they had been wiped out.
That wasn't one that we saw walking, was
I
it?
don't know.
Because they looked like him, but I mean, he died at Winterfell. So
Yeah, so it doesn't make much sense.
Right.
And I think they might
would have burned him. I'm pretty sure because John saw the zombies get back up, and he's like, "We're not having this again."
I don't see him letting
all giants look like.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, especially from I'm way down here, so I mean I'm only getting like this one weird perspective.
Did you guys catch in the at the end of the Game of Thrones episode, like okay, next week on Game of Thrones, did you see Yara and Ilaria kissing?
I did not.
Yes.
I should have took a picture of that too. I totally paused it. I was like, wait,
who's
someone
Ilaria?
was kissing. The Sand Snake mother, the woman who was.
Okay, no, I can see that.
Yeah. So and totally Nymeria coming back. Arya's wolf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
that would be dope. Because in the books,
he has a pack of regular.
She has a pack. Yeah.
Here's a question for you, professional. Who were those cats that Arya like befriended like towards the end of the episode? She's sitting with like 6 or 7 dudes. They're dressed as knights.
Yeah.
Those were Lannister soldiers.
That's it. There was like nothing special about them.
Yeah,
I'm trying to like wait about who are these guys?
I honestly feel like that was just thrown in there for the Ed Sheeran cameo. Which, by the way, that song was amazing. Like I did love the way it sounded. I don't know. I love Ed Sheeran, but it just kind of took me out of Westeros and back to my living room and, my iPod, So I was like, okay, this is cool. But I mean, that was it. He sang, there was his face, and he didn't have any lines after that.
Right.
Which was cool, because stop. That's it. Yeah. That's all we need from you.
I was trying to read way too much into that scene. I'm like, where have we seen these guys before? Who are they? And I'm trying to listen to what they said, but everybody's fucking British, and I can't quite get everything.
Captions on
all those episodes of Doctor Who, and you still can't fucking understand British.
Can't do it.
Like I watched the episode 3 times. I basically focused on that scene because that's why I figured, all right, Ed's singing about freaking Jaime killing Cersei. Like it's basically foretold in the song. And my perception of the soldiers that were hanging out there is like, they can't fucking stand Cersei. That's why they'd rather stay out there in the wilderness. They go back and fucking serve their queen.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if like the writers would make like kind of like an alliance for her and Arya to go in and fucking try to do some shit. I wouldn't be surprised. That's the perception I got from that whole interaction.
The perception I got was that Arya just finished taking out a lot of people.
The whole family.
And I mean, yeah.
Literally.
And like when we think about it, she's still in this show. She's still a child per se.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. She's
definitely had to mature, but I feel like when she sat there and was talking to them, she has to also remember that not everyone is guilty. Like there are two sides to war, no matter what it is, whether it's fictional or non-fictional. And I think it kind of brings her, because she was told, Red knew that right away. He was like, she's scoping out their swords. She's, she sees they're unarmed. Yeah. Like it's no thing at this point for this Arya to take them out.
I almost suspected that.
I was kind of waiting for it. It surprised me that she was just, let him live, and she starts laughing with him and, eating and whatever.
But then she becomes just as bad as the phrase where she's sitting there having a meal with them after they've invited her, and then she's just going to take them out.
That's right.
So it comes down to where she still needs to have her humanity. Like she can't just kill everyone. Like there does have to be a limit to what she does, and I think it's important that we see that she can handle and understand that. So, like, the guy, like, oh, I should have been on my dad's boat. Oh, my wife just had a kid. Like, she's not going to take these people out because she knows what that is to want your family, So,
I was kind of waiting for them to turn out to be scumbags, too, and that didn't happen either.
The what?
I was waiting for them to turn out to be scumbags, too. Like, there's 6-7 dudes and here's one woman.
Yeah, you wouldn't think.
But they were.
I was expecting that too, like they would try something and defend themselves.
I was kind of glad they didn't.
But it's just.
See, I never got that perception. I just thought they were just like ugly two soldiers that just like, just getting some.
I just openly don't trust anyone, especially least of all in this show.
In Westeros, yeah.
The fact that they were young and kind of just could relate to her and vice versa.
Yeah.
So.
They were basically like the kids that got drafted into this war, no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I think they made a point to say, like, something about like rich sons don't have to do this or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something. There was a passing line that
they don't get letters from home.
That was it. You don't get letters from home.
Your Ravens,
Yes.
Exactly.
And actually, they were up in the north, or that far up, because of her. Because she killed all the Freys, and they're there to defend her for.
Right.
And it's interesting because Jaime already knew about it, and he was worried about it, and it's just. It sucks to be, Lannister right now.
Another thing that actually that piqued my interest, because I guess our news travels fast, when Jaime and Cersei was talking on the map, and she mentioned that freaking that Tyrion was the head of the queen. How did that news get to her that quick?
A spy network. It was from the first season.
Mm-hmm.
She had her own spy work, not just only the bull guy. What's his name?
Oh, Varys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all have their own little spy networks, and hers actually almost rivals his.
I mean, it should. She's the queen of like all it is.
Mm-hmm.
So when Littlefinger was talking with Ned. Yeah, they pointed out to certain spies that this belongs to her, this belongs to him.
Oh yeah, early on.
So in the garden, I think, and so yeah, she's capable.
And it was something, I don't know if it was in the trailer or at the end of the episode, after Daenerys arrives at Dragonstone and, you know, kind of sets up shop, pulls the curtain down and everything, there was a hand sitting across the seat from her, and I guess it was probably in the trailer, and a lot of people are thinking that's the old Tyrell woman, the grandma.
The Tyrell.
Somebody had another screen grab and said, look at the glove that it's sitting, the way it's sitting down, and they think it's grandma.
I mean, why wouldn't
Well, speaking of women you don't fuck with in this country.
Badass.
I love
she
grandma.
is. She's. I like the little short but nice conversation she had with Tywin at the Purple Wedding, where she was like, "Oh, it's not often that a man lives up to his name," and she kind of enjoyed the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like even though they were rivals, it was still kind of fun to have that same level of competition. So she is badass.
He was a good villain too.
I mean, she's not as badass as Lady Mormont, but
No.
Oh my god!
I love that little girl.
That girl is amazing.
Yo, even my father said it. Like, why when she's like,
The meme.
I'm not gonna be sitting home knitting while some man is out fighting for me. My father told me, I was like, they should have just fucking let her rule the whole shit.
Yeah, basically,
Like
right?
the memes alone from that fucking.
Like even before they showed her face, like I think it was like in season 2 or 3, like way before we knew who she was, right? So who is this? But they like I think it was Stannis, and he's reading one of the little like the things that he got from the Raven, and he throws it at Jon Snow. He goes, "Do you know who this wretched little girl is?" And she says, because Stannis sent out all these, ravens saying, bend the knee to them.
Right.
And she was like, the only king we know is the king in the north.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't know who that is, but that's badass.
When
and then when I saw,
Yeah.
then when I saw who she was, I was
10.
like, whoa. Yeah, and she had these people counseling her, and when you first see her, you're thinking, oh, okay, she's a little girl, but then she was like, stop. We will give you what you need. And I was like, oh, you tell them. I was like, whoa.
That's my daughter. We don't even want kids, me and my wife. But like, if we do, that's her.
Right? Let's just grab her.
Yeah,
We'll adopt her.
awesome.
No, Vegetable
Yeah.
said Lyanna will become a White Walker and take over everything. That's me.
That's terrible.
That happened, I'm writing.
So this is only the first episode in the books. We've got 7 more.
Oh my god.
And with any luck, there won't be any, dead weeks where we're like, why ain't it on this week? You motherfuckers had 7 years between seasons to film. Why is it not on? But
You ever seen the making of this shit?
yeah, I watched when I hadn't watched it,
Yeah.
and then you all convinced me go watch it. I watched everything I could get my grubby mitts on.
Yo, their production is
From
sick.
trailers, even though I was about to watch the season, I still watched the trailers. I watched the next time on, even though I was going to go right to the next episode. I watched everything, everything.
Like
There was a minute snippets, commercials on HBO. I'm like, I'm watching that too.
I remember when I first started coming here, and like you didn't watch it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
I have a nasty tendency of not really listening to this guy, and.
No, you have a nasty tendency of not listening to anybody. Because how long did I fucking tell you to watch Doctor Who and Matt
That's
and
true.
Jen?
Yeah.
Doctor Who was really good. It was fun.
You finally watching Doctor Who now?
Oh no, I love Doctor Who.
Oh, he's
But no, I got started on Doctor Who because
I can't.
Blink was one of the greatest horror movies I'd ever watched in my life. And admittedly, all of the little British girls were really cute.
Jenna Coleman, I love you.
This is entirely a different ball game because you told me to read Chew, and after about 3 volumes I finally did. You told
And
me
you
to
kicked
read...
yourself for not picking up the first issue.
Yeah, I know. Fucking $900 later. You all told me to read that Joe Hill shit, Lock and Key, and that I held out. I held out for years. Just because you're telling me what to do and I automatically don't want to do it. And then finally I'm like, alright, I'm finally catching up on books. Let me read this ridiculous shit. And then I read it, and I didn't do anything. For like I took days off of work so I could read it, and then I finished it, and I went back to the start, and I read it again, just so I could kind of see all of the hints that were dropped as to what was going to happen later on. Twice, and that's the only time I've ever done that with a book series. And then he's all convinced me, you gotta watch Game of Thrones. It's pretty much everything you've ever loved about Gladiator, Troy, and Spartacus. It's violence and tits, and you're good. And I'm like, alright.
And dragons.
And dragons.
Right?
And dragons.
They almost didn't put the dragons in the...
That's ridiculous.
Game of Thrones is violent, sex, and porn. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Violent, sex, and porn.
That's
You don't like that, you're not American. Sorry.
Not American.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to episode 1, season 7 Game of Thrones review. Liz, thank you for coming on the
Thank
show.
you for having me.
Way too long to get you finally on the show.
Fucking winter
Bring Red
is
next time
finally
as
here.
well.
Absolutely. But no, yeah.
You have to come
definitely.
back for at least the 4th and the 8th episode.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
we'll,
totally.
we'll just try to get like the milestones and to see like if some good shit happened. Like, yeah, come over next week. We'll know. We'll know.
Yeah, if it's just like a filler, like, alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
Well,
fuck
It
is
says
that?
you're a librarian. You're
A Targaryen.
no, you're a Game of Thrones genius.
She's a maester. Yeah, without question.
Thank
Guys, thanks for tuning in. Pete's Basement is copyright 2015, Ripped Productions and Pete's Basement LLC. All rights reserved, so go fuck yourself. You suck so much.